So, Cowboys Nation, football is finally back, and man, do we have a lot to talk about when it comes to our Cowboys. So let's talk about it. So the Cowboys had their first preseason game versus the Rams. And based on how the practices went, we aren't that surprised that the Cowboys just couldn't compete with their backups. They set a lot of their guys way more than we expected. And for me, I'm just going to be honest, one of my biggest issues is our backups didn't look good. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, they're backups. What do you expect? And I'm sorry, I'm not one of those guys that's gonna pretend like it's just preseason and that these games don't matter. But it doesn't matter that they're not starters. But remember, if your starter or starters go down, then you gotta have viable options as backups behind them for various position groups. And like for the Cowboys specifically, a lot of the groups where we don't really have depth and talent outside of our starters is the cornerbacks, defensive tackles, and linebackers. And who would have guessed a lot of those positions are the defense. Cowboys really didn't try to make the defense better. They just, okay, we got George Pickens, we got some offensive linemen, we brought in some running backs, we're good. Um, but again, you know how that's how the Cowboys do things. They want to lean in on offense, and then we wonder why our defense tends to look bad at times. But first things first, we got to talk about is man, we had a very, 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 very glaring issue, and that's quarterback play. So we saw Joe Milton for the first time in football action as a Dallas Cowboy. And from all accounts from practice, the Cowboys media would just say, well, he's a project, he's a work in progress. Based on what I saw versus the Rams, Joe Milton is more than just a project. This is like a 3 to 4 year investment because, man, some of those basic quarterback stuff just wasn't there. And you can't rely on a guy like that who doesn't do the basics well. I get the athleticism, but I felt the media did a very, very poor job in how they assessed Joe Milton as of right now. They didn't really tell you. They say, okay, he's a project, but that's more than just a project. And I'm not saying he's not a good football player, but the quarterback stuff, there's a lot that he needs to work on. Uh, and for me, I wouldn't put him as backup currently based on what I saw. He has a cannon of an arm, but the reading of the defense, throwing to guys on the move, taking the simple play instead of forcing a big play, a lot of issues that will get you eaten up alive in the NFL. Like for example, one of his interceptions that he forced into double coverage to Flournoy, he had a wide open running back underneath, but he passed up on that to take the deep shot, which was extremely unnecessary for the situation. And it was just watching him was just very, very difficult. People chalked it up as being nervous, but I saw more than that. I saw just bad decision making. He was always trying to hit the big shot and would hold the ball too long. And when he finally let go of the ball, it was just a straight rocket. No touch whatsoever. Just let me throw it as hard as I can, even though it might be just a simple crossing route where it's like, okay, let me get some touch on that, let me get some air on that. But yeah, it was just really eye opening. But again, that's why I say I can't take the words of Cowboys media too often, because they want to paint a rosy picture, but the truth is that it just didn't look good. But at least there's no pressure for him to play now. He has time to develop because as of right now, I'm sorry, he just has a long way to go before he could even be the backup, in my opinion. And even with all that, that's just the quarterback. There was some bright spots with the Cowboys, even though they lost 31-21. And some of the guys I wanted to highlight that I thought did a really, really good job was for me for me, the player of the game for the Cowboys easily was Marist Liufau. He was playing with his hair on fire from the kickoff, and he didn't stop until they took him out the game. I don't care what anyone says. He should be the starting linebacker and given as many reps as he wants because he's a straight baller and he's someone that the Cowboys can depend on. I need to see more from Murray out there playing, not Maris. Let's just be honest. I got to see if Murray's got it. Maris, I know, has it. So I don't want to see anything where it's like, oh, especially in our nickel sets, we're gonna have Murray and not Marist out there. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's all I gotta say. Another guy that I thought was playing very well was the rookie safety out of Kentucky, Zion Childress. He wasn't afraid to hit, was making open field tackles, and he gave me some hope that if he makes the roster, which I hope he does, because we need guys like that at safety that will get down and dirty in the trenches and still have the coverage skills to take on wide receivers and tight ends. The last few guys that I wanted to give a shout out to also that played very, very well that probably are not getting the recognition that they deserve is Asim Richards and Nate Thomas. Those guys made me feel that if we had issues at tackle with Guyton or Steele, that we have backups that will be able to keep the boat afloat. We'll be good at tackle. We've had issues at tackle with since Tyron retired, and we don't know if Guyton will be back by game one. So knowing that we have two guys that we could start and not get destroyed gives me peace of mind in general. That and even in general the O line played very very well, except for that one sack that they gave up by Identity. They kept the pocket clean for Milton, and the run game looked way better than it did last year under Mike McCarthy. So that's definitely an added bright spot. And another shout out, Phil Maffa. A lot of people, especially in the media, were like, "Oh, he's not getting the carries." This and that. He looked like he got some juice on him. So don't don't be surprised. The Cowboys like, mid season. Let's just go with Blue and Maffa. We should be good. That Thunder and Lightning combination, we should be good. So man, there even though we lost, there were some bright spots for the Cowboys that I look forward to seeing even more so about. So we talked about some of the good and some of the good bright spots. Now let's get to the bad. The defense didn't look good. It's just full stop. We had trouble stopping the run, but the only thing I'd say about that is that the guys, I will give them some grace because especially the defensive tackles, them seeing real game snaps, uh, and they got a lot more snaps than they probably expected, and that they are going to get come regular season time. So I give them some grace with that because they got gassed out, especially towards the end. It just wasn't fun. We knew what was going to happen, especially you putting guys like a Jay Toia out there and 330 something pounds. If you're playing multiple snaps and you're getting double teamed every single snap, you're going to gas out eventually. So I know Cowboys want to play rotation, but again, I will say it. Cowboys are playing a dangerous game with the Mazi-or-bust approach. I was talking about Jay Toia. He had a rough outing, which isn't so expected from a seventh round rookie. But also, too, the linebackers didn't help much either outside Maris. The Cowboys are undersized on the D line, and their scheme to work around that is to attack gaps and use linebackers and safeties to fill to stop the run. The only problem I have with that is that you better be smart and good at tackling because if you aren't, you will get destroyed by big runs and it will be just like last year defensively. And the corners, basically non-existent in my opinion. Pride and Booth, we're getting cooked, but we're so down bad at corner because of injuries that I don't know if both guys will get cut, what should happen, because the Cowboys they just don't have enough guys. A lot of the guys they're relying on are on IR, and we don't know when they'll be back. So it just basically looks like they're going to pray and hope that our pass rush gets home, and then enough to where guys like Diggs, Revel, and Butler get back. Because man, offenses are going to see clear weaknesses in that cornerback room and exploit them. It's if I see Prod, I see Booth, I'm going at you all game. I'm sorry if that's what an OC is not stupid. They're gonna see, oh, we got such and such out there. Bet I'm going to him. Oh, we're gonna make it so. Oh, we want, especially look at Eagles, Smith, AJ, even the third option wide receiver could cook Booth. So yeah, it's gonna be rough, guys. But the good part about seeing these preseason games is you're finally seeing certain things that's like I just speculated about, but now my suspicions are confirmed. There's certain groups that weren't addressed like that are not like that. So, uh, like I said, the Cowboys are playing games with this roster, and the coaches better be good, because if not, it is going to be a long season. I promise you that, Cowboys Nation. So, Cowboys Nation, that's all I have for you guys for the recap of the preseason, the week one preseason game versus the Rams. We have a long way to go as a team, but we got to hope and pray that the Cowboys get Micah's contract done and that they get a veteran one tech and veteran corner back. Because if this team doesn't, and they keep playing around and think, oh, we're just going to go with what we got, it's going to be Dak or bust. And we've seen how that plays out in the end too many times to be like, that should be how we go ahead with things. But again, we will see. I'll keep dropping recaps after each preseason game, so be on the lookout. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel. I'm your boy Mecca Mike, and for all the socials, that is MECCHA Mike, and I'm out.